Tears of the Kingdom. It's the talk of the town, and for good reason. This absolute Goliath of a game got dropped on our faces like a tactical nuke lately. And holy frick, is there so much to unpack here. This game is a sequel to the small but humble little indie game called Breath of the Wild. Yeah, that game. Needless to say, Breath of the Wild was a massive game at the time of release. Who am I kidding? It's still massive. Breath of the Wild is still being talked about and played today, despite coming out in 2017. That makes it 6 years old and... Wait, 6 years? 2017? Damn. So yeah, Breath of the Wild has had plenty of time to settle and cement itself as one of the greatest games ever made in a lot of people's minds. That's quite the reputation, and big chunky shoes for Tears of the Kingdom to fill. So after about 100 hours of playtime, how do we feel about this new Zelda title, huh? Well, let's take a look at what Tears of the Kingdom does right. And massive spoiler alert also, if you want to go into it completely blind. Breath of the Wild's open world was big, seriously big. It wasn't just its sheer size that made it such an impressive Hyrule, it's also thanks to the totally crazy number of things that you're able to do. If you're like me, heaven forbid, you might have thought it was basically impossible to make an even more impressive open world for a Zelda game. You might have thought Tears of the Kingdom would essentially just spruce up Hyrule with a couple of new activities and have a few scattered sky islands for some brief, quick entertainment and leave it at that. But you'd be dead wrong, bucko! The amount of side quests, shrine quests, and quests will just leave you feeling overwhelmed, really. But not even in a bad way. You'll desperately be trying to keep track of what you were originally doing as you get distracted by 5 different side quests, all of which have totally different objectives that all intertwine with each other somehow, until you've realized you've spent hours trying to help this one dingus prop up a frackin' sign, or lifting up every rock in existence trying to find one more Korok poop. Huh? Was that Zelda? Fate of the World? Stop Ganondorf? Yeah, just give me 50 more hours, I'll be right with you. That's not even getting into the Sky Islands and the depths. Yeah, just like I predicted, the Sky Islands are kind of scattered and more about mini adventures, but they're also a blast to go through. And they hold a few secret challenges that'll really give you a bang for your buck. But my lips are sealed. And the depths. Woo! Boy, the depths! IGO Numa, the absolute mad lad. He looked at the map and he and his team probably took years off their lives making, and yeah, I haven't suffered enough. Let's do it again, is what he said. Not me. The depths are crazy. It's basically a new map that's the same size as Hyrule located underneath it. Most of it's pitch black. You don't really know where you're going, and it's super easy to die down there. Find a way to carry a source of light with you down there, or you're going to have a bad time, my friend. Not to mention the depths are totally infested with this gross red goop called gloom. If you stay in prolonged contact with it, it'll start gobbling up your hearts and reduce your maximum health. No way to get them back either, unless you go back up to the surface. Every single venture into the depths is a perilous journey, which is what makes it such a blast to go through. In terms of expanding the open world, they really knocked it out of the park in every aspect, with the depths being the shining jewel of it all. You'll need some seriously creative Zonai device inventions to go through with such a dense Hyrule world without losing your mind. And speaking of which, holy fricoly, the Zonai devices, man. Where do I even begin with this insanity? Nintendo gave the tools for players to create basically anything they want, and people have been going hog wild with it. Some people mad with power. Just with this one implementation, Tears of the Kingdom is more sandboxy than most sandboxes. Honestly, the only limits to what you can stick together and create is your own imagination. If you dream it, you can build it. It's not an exaggeration at all to say that this one system completely transforms this game into a new beast, distinct from Breath of the Wild in every way. Honestly, you know what? I just can't help myself. Here are just some examples of the insane things players have already built. Hover ships, racing cars,
because they can't really navigate.
mech suits, frickin' lawnmowers, Korok torture devices. Why do we need that? And keep in mind, this game is still new. I've got no doubt in my mind that the longer the time passes, the crazier people's inventions will get. This is just the tip of the iceberg for what Tears of the Kingdom can truly provide. And I'm all here for it. Leave a comment down below what crazy things you've built so far. Oh, and you thought the Sheikah Slate powers from Breath of the Wild were impressive. You poor soul, you haven't seen anything yet. What did Breath of the Wild have again? You can make ice blocks. That's nice, I guess. You could carry metallic objects around and freeze them in time too. You hit a frozen object, it to build up momentum on it. Whatever, that's neat, right? Tears of the Kingdom, on the other hand, goes ham. Carrying metallic objects? Yeah, pathetic. Here, have an Ultra Hand. The ability to let you carry almost any object in the game and even stick them together to craft anything you want. Freezing objects in place? Oh, rudimentary. Yeah, have Recall, an ability that allows you to rewind time on, you guessed it, almost any object in the game. Not to mention you've got Ascend, which is... it lets you go up. It's useful, okay? Fuse, which lets you attach basically anything to your weapon, shield, or bow. Add another layer of chaos to it. Attach a boulder to your sword, start smashing through rocks, or attach a Kisa's eye to your arrow and turn it into a homing arrow. I didn't even know that was a thing. Or even strap a Zonai rocket to your shield and just blast off Jimmy Neutron style. The number of possible combinations with Fuse is frankly absurd, and the whole fun of it is discovering those combinations for yourself. So be like this game and go ham on it. The original powers you had at your disposal in Breath of the Wild definitely weren't bad. I don't want to give you the impression they were, but Tears is undeniably a step up with its gameplay. All those powers are a total blast to use. The dungeons in Breath of the Wild were a point of contention. Heck, a lot of people argue the Divine Beasts weren't even dungeons at all, but it's a pale imitation of them. They said they were too easy, too short, didn't have a unique kind of flair and aesthetic that different dungeons are supposed to have. And Tears of the Kingdom fixes this. I mean, kind of. It's an improvement, at least. The Divine Beasts in Breath of the Wild definitely lacked identity from one another. Yeah, one of them was a bird, the other one was an elephant, yada, yada, yada. But they were still all made from the same ancient Sheikah technology. They look kind of samey because of that. The puzzles kind of felt the same too. But the dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom spiced things up considerably. Let's break down the list together, shall we? You've got the Wind Temple, which is a giant flying ship surrounded by smaller ships that act like springy platforms you can bounce off of to get to the temple. How freaking awesome is that? The Fire Temple is actually the lost city of Gorondia, buried down underground at the base of a frickin' volcano. You're legit just Indiana Jonesing the place up as you fight and rail grind your way through the old forgotten remnants of a past civilization. The Lightning Temple is a giant ancient pyramid buried in the sand of the Gerudo Desert, only revealed once you light up the 4 towers surrounding it with creepy crawly Gibdos that you need to electrocute or strike with lightning in order to keep away. And the Water Temple is a set of floating islands high up in the sky where you've got to unleash torrents of water in order to progress. All the while, you'll have to be dealing with low gravity shenanigans at the same time, like you're walking on the moon. Needless to say, Tears of the Kingdom put a lot more effort into making each dungeon feel like a totally different locale, unlike the Divine Beasts, which kind of blended together at times as how similar they were to one another. The only thing holding them back from being truly spectacular, however, is their length and difficulty. Yeah, if you didn't like how short and easy the Divine Beasts were in Breath of the Wild, well, you're gonna have the same problems here, probably. They aren't boring per se, but in terms of the difficulty, the temples are simply just not remarkable. Too similar to the Divine Beasts. So much so that it almost seems deliberate. If you're looking for a real spicy Zelda dungeon that'll truly test your wits, sorry mate, Tears of the Kingdom just don't have that. Still, the massive improvements are hard to ignore, and it's a huge step in the right direction. You wanted stylized Zelda dungeons with their own personalities, Tears of the Kingdom got you covered. And there it is, our list of some of the best things that Tears of the Kingdom does right. Do you agree or disagree with anything that we've said so far? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. And if you like this Zelda-related content, let us know with a like, and maybe we'll make some more. How about a What Tears of the Kingdom Got Wrong video, huh? That would be a spicy video, with not only some hot takes, but really hard to make. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and have yourself an epic day. Sayonara.